Assalamu alaikum, my students. From now onwards, we are starting our discussion on culture in the sense of collectivity of artistic activities and aesthetic activities. So, culture and art and literature. So, all these activities, and there are different kinds of arts we will discuss. And I would like you to be interactive in this discussion, particularly. uh, Relationship between art and society. First of all, there are many questions, and the first question is, which I would also write for you, I mean, as your assignment, is that what is art? And if we assume that, without going into the problems of meaning of art, if we just assume art as we know it in the form of music and literature and such activities, sculpture, these kind of activities which are usually called as fine arts. So if we just take those forms of art which are, so what they tell us about a particular person, when we ask a particular person, what are your literary pursuits, what are your artistic pursuits, his or her answer would tell us much about his or her personality. So it means that art is not just an issue or something at the corner of a person or a corner of a society. It's not that some people are just engaged with artistic activities. Rather, artistic activities tell us much about the person, and they tell us in the same way about the society. So if a person tells us about his interest in specific arts, he is giving information not only about the art, but we are getting information about his or her personality as well. Because our attitude towards art, basically, they define ourselves. Or I mean, one of the meanings of ourselves can be understood. uh, what is our taste in, for example, poetry or prose or music? What do we like? That tell us much about our personality. Similarly, we can understand a society if we understand what is the place and role of art in that society. What types of people are engaged in the producing of art? What types of art are present in that society? Which classes and which sections of society are actively engaged in the creation of art? What type of people promote art? Who are the promoters? What is the audience of art in that society? So producers of art, number one. Number two, managers of art, the owners of art galleries, for example. So publishers, for example, the people who promote art. So, and thirdly, we can say consumers of art, audience of art. So how artistic activities are distributed in society, how production is distributed, and how consumption is distributed, all that would tell us much about that society. So the question of art is not just a question which remains within the world of art. Rather, it is about society in general. So it means that study of art is basically study of society. So एक तो ये हो गया कि art के through हम society को समझ सकते हैं. So this is one aspect of this dialectical relationship. Studying a society through the lens of art, or this is different, not through the lens of art. We can say studying a society through the study of art in that society. And secondly, we can study art through the lens of society. So this is a two-way relationship. When there are possible different art studies. We can study art from art's point of view, from an artist's point of view, for example, right? An artist, the producer of art, he or she can understand and give an account of what is art. This question, that what is art, it can be answered by an artist in a particular way. But when we study art through the lens of society, right, through sociological lens, it can mean different things. Then it means actually different things, because in that case we will see how artist, for example, is situated in society. What are the circumstances in which that art is produced? How the context is expressed in art? How the social context influences the artist? What is the role of managers of art? How art is being managed? Management of art, right? So in that case, we will study art through the lens of society. My dear student, this is the crux of this course, that to study art from the arts angle and to study art from societal angles, and then to study society from arts angle, right? So essentially there are I mean, we can say that there are three essential themes uh, to study society from आर्ट्स एंगल, टू स्टडी आर्ट फ्रॉम सोसाइटीज एंगल, राइट? और फिर उसके अंदर भी मैंने कहा कि जैसे एक और पॉइंट जो है इन दोनों के अंदर, एंड टू स्टडी आर्ट फ्रॉम आर्ट्स एंगल, वो ऑल्दो it is not it I mean, one can say that it is not precisely in the domain of sociology of art to study art from an artist angle, but in my view, it is essential to understand that perspective, because artist himself is a member of society, right? So to study art from an artist angle, it is necessary, as and this is the case, also case with the study of religion, right? Anything which is esoteric, which is not simply explained by we can say social forces, religion, mysticism, and art, all these phenomena are basically, we can say, they tend to move beyond the we can say simple and commonsensical things. It is beyond that. They are they are beyond the common sense rationality. They are beyond that. They are beyond that, right? And they are based on intense experience. They are based on we can say intense mystical and esoteric experience, which cannot be simply explained by external and uh, elements on the surface, right? So we cannot simply say that they are socially constructed. So we have to explain them as social construction, but at the same time we have to appreciate that there is something in mysticism and in mystical and artistic experience, because they are ultimately related to aesthetics, and they are ultimately related to ethics as well. Ethics cannot be simply explained uh, by sociology. It is difficult to explain morality. जैसे कि आप जानते हैं, कांट जो है, he was very much fascinated by ethical principles. What explains them? They cannot be. They are just there. We follow them, but without any, we can say, uh, understanding their social origin. Sometimes we have a tendency to explain them away through sociological reasoning, that they started from here and they changed. But these are simplistic formulations, right? So it is we should appreciate the difficulty. If sociology or psychology faces some difficulty in explaining uh, a situation in human affairs, if we have difficulty, we should accept that this is difficult to explain through these variables. In this way, uh, we can have hope to someday find some method to understand this phenomena in a better way and in a deeper way. But if we just simply explain away all the mystical things, that there's nothing mystical, and we just deny anything mystical, and we just explain them away, as I'm saying again and again, if we just explain away, we say that there's nothing mystical and it's all basically socially constructed, and look, so this kind of attitude perhaps would not serve the purpose of science, in my view, and in the views of other sociologists as well. So, so we are focusing on now on the relationship between art, or we can say culture, in the restricted sense, and and society. And I explained that how we are going to study. So, inshallah. So just focus on these points, and please read again now chapter 1, जो कि आपका किताब है चैप्टर 1, उसको जस्ट स्टार्ट रीडिंग अगेन एंड टेक दीज लेक्चर्स. और अब ये है कि आई विल सेंड अ क्वेश्चन टू यू इन योर ग्रुप, एंड लेट्स डिस्कस दैट, और उस पर मैं असाइनमेंट आपको ग्रुप में देता हूँ. थैंक यू वेरी मच.